Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my winter fragrance edit. A couple of months ago I did a fall fragrance edit and that included perfumes and home scents like candles. And so I'm going to do the same but curate around this winter theme. I will say everything that I mentioned in the fall video basically carries into winter for me, but there are definitely some more holiday themed things here, especially in terms of candles, and some heavier scents that really work best when the weather is super cold and crisp, and that's when these fragrances really shine. So I'm gonna start with candles. By the way, I know I have kind of a bold makeup look on today. This was a holiday makeup look that I filmed that will probably be up on Instagram and TikTok, so I'll link that below. I was playing with this idea of using green and red, but not in like a corny way. And I actually really like how this turned out. So I thought it was appropriate for the winter fragrance edit. So we're starting with candles, and I'm gonna start with holiday candles because I think these are all great gifts and great things to purchase for yourself. I buy these for myself all the time. And I have some longtime favorites on here as well as some new favorites. A longtime favorite, probably my all-time favorite winter candle is Nest Holiday. And this sets the bar for all other holiday candles for me. I never get sick of this scent. It's so potent. I think the strongest note in here is pine, but then you get these really sharp notes of citrus. I think there's some cranberry in there. It's just everything you want to smell during the holidays, and it's also one of Nest's strongest scented candles. And what I mean by that is even just this single wick candle, their regular size, will fill up my entire downstairs like open concept home. I also have and love the 3-wick and I burn it all the time, but you definitely don't need it even if you're in a big space. This fills a large space very well. And that's true of all Nest candles, but I notice it a lot with holiday. And to me, this is just the scent that I look forward to smelling during the holidays. If you are a pine purist, I love Nest Birchwood Pine. I actually just finished one up, so I don't have it here to show you. And that is a very, very true, crisp pine scent. I also have Nest Hearth, and this one is a little bit sexier, a little bit more grown up, and it has definitely a heavier element to it. So there's this amber quality to it, and obviously it's called Hearth, so there's this smoky woods quality, and it does have the scent of a real wood burning fireplace, but it's kind of like also in a fancy dark library. I don't know how else to describe it. I love it. I think it's very elevated. This is more of an adult, mature kind of scent. Next up, I have some newer to me candles, and these are limited edition candles from Fleur. And you guys know I love Fleur perfume, so I was really excited that they came out with these candles. They're made of this beautiful white ceramic, and there are 2 scents. This one is Wild Balsam, and this one is called Sweet Smoke. These are definitely softer in throw than the Nest candles. These are more appropriate, I think, for a small to medium-sized room. Wild Balsam is very much a true pine scent, but it's a little bit softer than Nest Birchwood Pine. It's a little bit softer and has less of a hard edge, I think, than the Nest wood scents do. But it still does have that true pine sort of scent, and it has a really beautiful green wax. Sweet Smoke is really interesting because it's a smoky gourmand. So it has a vanilla base. It has like a creamy round base, but it also has that slight element of smoke. Nowhere near anything like Hearth because this is a sweet candle. Hearth is more of a woods smoke. This has that element of creaminess and sweetness that really balances out the smoke. I will say these tunneled for me a little bit the first couple of times I burnt them, and when that happens, tunneling is when the middle of the candle burns at a faster rate, and so you get wax stuck to the edges. I wrap foil around it, around the whole candle, and then I light the candle, and it helps even out the wax because it seals in the heat. And once I did that, they started burning totally evenly. So just wanted to mention that. Then my sweet friend Ingrid and her candle company, the New Savant, sent over this set of candles. This is their Cozy for the Holidays set, and it contains their 3 different holiday candles. And this is a very, very unique holiday collection. I was so excited this set showed up at my door. I would have purchased it myself because you guys know I love my New Savant candles. So there are 3 candles. This was their autumnal sort of candle, and it's called Harvest Table. It has notes of cardamom, cranberries, cinnamon sugar, pecan streusel, and toasted pistachio. And this just smells so yummy. It's very creamy, but it's balanced by the nuttiness of the pecan and the toasted pistachio. So there's this very like cozy feeling to it. And I really love that the New Savant has taken holiday scents, but they're not very straightforward. They're kind of unexpected, and I think there's always a poetic interpretation of fragrance that they do so well. So Harvest Table is definitely that yummy dessert kind of thing, but it is also balanced. It's not too sweet. They brought back California Christmas, which it's my first time trying this candle, but I know that they made it last year and people loved it, and I can totally see why. The notes are desert air, sun-baked sea salt, California oranges, cognac, and caramelized sugar. This has that citrus note that I love, but it definitely feels like a wintry citrus, which I think is so interesting. There's a complexity to it. There's a freshness to it, but it's not really like a juicy citrus. It does have that minerality to it. And of course, as a California girl, I love this candle. And their newest scent that they released this year is called Only in New York, and this smells so good. So this is almond extract, caramel macchiato, cashmere musks, and frosted fir. This one makes my mouth water. I definitely think it's a gourmand, but it's a very elevated gourmand. It's not like your straightforward like sugar cookie sort of scent. It has that roundedness, and there is, interestingly, like almond and fir, like fir trees. And so you get that creaminess, that gourmand quality, but also there's a freshness to it. They actually say that these 3 burned together make something really special, and I haven't done that yet because I'm like savoring each one, but I do need to try that because, again, the New Savant does scent poetry so well that I know that once I burn them together, they're going to be just something really special. So you can get all of these candles separately, or you can get the set, and I'll link them below along with everything else. Maison Margiela Replica sent over their By the Fireplace candle, and I have burned this candle before years ago as a votive, but I hadn't had the full size, and it is so beautiful. It's actually very different from the perfume. So if you've tried the perfume, it's a very smoke forward scent. And so I was kind of expecting that again when I burned the candle, but the candle is actually much more round and a bit sweeter than By the Fireplace as a perfume. It's almost like By the Fireplace as a perfume by the end of the day, once the smoke notes have sort of subsided a little bit and the creamier base notes come through. It's almost like that version of the perfume in a candle. And I think this is a really giftable item as well. It feels fancy, it feels elevated, and I've really enjoyed the surprising warmth of this candle. My friend Danielle has a candle brand called Palm Trees and 80 Degrees, and this year they came out with a candle called Cashmere at Christmas. And I've been burning this so much, you can see I'm already like halfway through it. This is so beautiful. It's actually very close to Nest Holiday. I think that's why I love it so much, because it has that very pine forward note, and it also captures that sharper note of cranberry. So it's very balanced and it's just very cozy, and I always find that Danielle's candles have such a great value for money. Like, this is a huge candle. It's 12 ounces. They're handmade, they're small batch, and yeah, I've been burning this one nonstop. For something more on the affordable end, you know I love my Bath & Body Works candles, and I actually think my favorite holiday Bath & Body Works candle is Fresh Balsam. It's a pretty straightforward fir scent, but I just like the pine tree scent so much. We always had real Christmas trees growing up, so I feel very attached to that scent, and it just brings me a lot of joy. And this is not a very complex scent, but it fills a room and it just does the trick. It's just everything I want to smell when I'm in a Christmas tree mood. This one is actually almost gone. And the other Bath & Body Works candle that I like is Marshmallow Fireside. And I don't burn this one as much because it is very sweet. And you know, it's Bath & Body Works, it's not a luxury candle, so it's pretty one note. You get the creaminess of the marshmallow, that dessert quality, and you also get a bit of smokiness as well, but it can be a very sweet scent. So I burn this one sparingly. It's kind of a nice like after dinner candle if I know I'm gonna get to eat dessert because it does make me hungry, but it's a Bath & Body Works classic. And lastly, probably the most expensive candle on here is Frederick Mall Country Home. This one smells, I think when I first described it, I said it smells like generational wealth. It smells like you're in an English castle, sitting by an ancient fireplace, and it has a bit of spice to it as well. And it's definitely woods forward, smoky spice. And it does smell like something very old, like you've just come in from the winter, from a walk in the country, and you're sitting in your grand home in the library next to an old fireplace. And I really, really love it. I use it very sparingly because it is pricey. But if you want to capture that essence or you want to gift something special, I think candles make a great gift because you're giving someone the gift of an experience, even though you can't be there. And yeah, that's why I gift candles all the time. Moving on to perfumes, I have fewer perfumes in this round than I think I did in the fall fragrance edit because to me, the fall fragrance edit all blends together with this. So I've been loving everything I mentioned in that. I love Byredo de los Santos. I've been wearing my Boy Smells perfumes a lot. I've been wearing my wood scents a lot, like the Fleur Somebody Would. So all of those I still love, and I will link that video below. But I do have some additions that are sort of winter specific. The first one that I have to mention is the classic, and it's Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. And this one is well loved by many people for good reason. It's sexy, it's creamy, it's smoky. It has a base of vanilla bourbon, I think, but there is that added sexiness and kind of mysteriousness that comes with the tobacco scent. So it starts out a little bit boozier, and then for me, it settles down into something creamier throughout the day. And for me, as someone who lives in LA, and we don't get, you know, like a snowy winter, I get really excited when our winter months do come around because this is such a winter fragrance. It's not something I can wear when the weather is warm, so I always get excited to pull this out. If this is not in your budget, I have a really good dupe for you, and that is the Maison Louis Marie No. 3 Le Tang Noir. And this also has notes of tobacco and vanilla as well as bourbon, I think. I actually owned this before I owned this because I couldn't afford this at the time. So I purchased this, and I love the Maison Louis Marie perfume oil format. So it's a little glass bottle, and it has a roller ball. So you can just roll it onto your pulse points, and it actually kind of warms up throughout the day with your body temperature. The Tom Ford perfume is obviously stronger, it's more concentrated, so I do love it, but I actually think this is a very, very, very good dupe. And it's also under $100, which is great. Interestingly enough, I don't reach for my like creamy vanilla perfumes too much in the fall, but when it's winter and you have that like crisp cold air and you're making lots of food at home and you're baking things, I like to go for more vanilla scents. One that I've been reaching for a ton is actually the Nest perfume oil in the scent Madagascar Vanilla. And this is a perfume oil. It's in a glass bottle. It's really beautiful. I've actually really been liking this applied to my wrists and the back of like behind my ears at night after I take a bath before I go to bed. There's just something very comforting and creamy and yummy about this. And Madagascar Vanilla is less gourmand. It's almost like a slightly floral vanilla. It has less of like a dessert feel and more of a floral vanilla feel. So there's this lightness about it, and I just love smelling it like wafting off of my body as I'm falling asleep. And it's just a very pleasant experience with the perfume oil format as well. This summer when I was in Korea on my trip there, I picked up this perfume by a perfume house called Nonfiction. It's Korean and it's called Gentle Night. And I loved it when I picked it up. I wore it a ton. I've been wearing it a ton, but I'm really appreciating it now that it's colder out. So this is available in the US. I'll link it below. This has a woods base. It's like a sandalwood base, but it has a creaminess to it. And I feel like the creaminess, I mean, I did notice it in the summer, but now that the weather's cooled down, it feels a little bit rounder, like even rounder than it did when I was using it in those earlier months. And I've been enjoying it again as an easy to wear everyday perfume. It's not too masculine or unisex or woodsy, but it's also not gourmand. It's just kind of a great skin musk sort of scent. For something a little bit spicier, this is a newer perfume to me. This is from Lake and Sky, and they sent this over to me, I think in the summer, but I didn't really reach for it, and now I'm reaching for it, and it's because it has that spice note. And of course it's saffron forward, but it's very woodsy. It's kind of unisex. So it captures that spice element, but there's also a minerality to it. And so it does feel clean at the same time. And again, this is new to me. Lake and Sky as a brand is new to me. I think they're at Sephora, but this one has really surprised me and it's grown on me, especially as we've gone into colder months. Speaking of spice, I'm really excited to pull out Diptyque's Dosun. And this is a very tuberose forward fragrance. And tuberose for me is not something that I can reach for year round. I think that spicy edge of tuberose works best, at least on me, in the fall and winter months. But now that time is here, I reach for this all the time. It's like a musky, woodsy floral, but there's also this sharp element to it that comes from the tuberose. And it's just very beautiful. I mean, like all of Diptyque's fragrances, it's very complex and it becomes a lot softer throughout the day. So it opens a little bit sharper and then it settles into a more musky, skin-like scent throughout the day. The last thing I want to mention is not a perfume. It's not a candle, it's actually a room and linen spray. So Dead Cool, which you know I love, has come out with room and linen sprays that you can spray on your sheets, your towels, you can spray it, mist it into the air. And they came out with, they sent it over in Milk, which I love as like a year-round favorite, and they sent it over in Taunt, which I have here. I think Taunt is a nice fall-winter fragrance because it has that vanilla note. So it's bergamot, vanilla, and amber. But it's not sweet, it's not gourmand, it's a very fresh, clean sort of smell. And I think it works beautifully as a perfume. I obviously love it that way, but it's also a scent that lends itself really well to room scents. So I think it's great for a bedroom, it's great for an office. It's not probably something I would use for a living room because it has that cozier feel from the vanilla, but I've really enjoyed using it, especially on my bed sheets. So that's it, that's my winter fragrance edit. I would love to know what your favorite winter fragrances are, both in terms of candles, perfumes, or other types of scented items. If there's anything you think I should try, let me know. I mentioned last year that I really wanted the Diptyque holiday collection. I didn't end up buying it. I haven't bought it yet this year, but I'm always curious. I just think that Diptyque holiday packaging is so beautiful. So I'm eyeing it again, we'll see. But yeah, let me know what your favorites are and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.